What's happening, man? It's your boy Mixtape, and you are now in tune with another episode of All About the Streets. And today's topic is the power of negativity. You heard me? And from a scale of negative 100 to positive 100, you heard me? I remember being at negative 95. So today I'm gonna tell y'all my journey from being at negative 95 to what I am at right now today, and that's positive one, and why I hope to be at in the future, and that is, positive 100. So to start off, I'm gonna take it straight to when I was at negative 95, the worst I ever been in my life. You heard me? And like when you at a lifestyle of negative 95, you heard me? You gonna have some fucked up ways of thinking. You heard me? My ways of thinking, they kind of twisted now, but back in the day, you heard me? My head was really fucked up. When I had look, bitch, I made a plan to rob the bank. You heard me? I would go do that shit too. I would go do that shit by myself. You heard me? And the reason why, because if you do it by yourself, ain't nobody could go tell on you but your damn self. You heard me? Bitch, look. And look, before I get started, I know some people like, man, this nigga stupid. You know you go to jail for that. But bitch, I ain't do shit, bitch. That was just a thought, motherfucker. Like I said, bitch, I can't go to jail for that. Because if I go to jail for telling y'all this shit, then the motherfucker who made the movie set it off, you heard me? They should go to jail too. Because they had, when I watched that movie, bitch, I wanted to rob banks. I don't know about y'all, but when I was watching that bitch, I was fantasizing about robbing some banks. So if I go to jail for my idea, bitch, that nigga should go to jail too. But look here, man. I was up all night with this shit. And like I said, that's how you get that money. That nigga who making that movie heard me, he was up all night probably trying to rob a bank. That nigga said, fuck that shit, I'm gonna make a movie. So let me tell y'all my story, man. Like, yeah, to start off with my plan, I made the plan, you heard me? I'm from Louisiana, you heard me? I'm a country nigga, whatever you want to call it. But I live like about 35 minutes away from New Orleans, you heard me? So I was planning on, you heard me, catching a bus, bitch. Do this shit by myself. I would go catch the bus, you heard me? And I would go out there to the city. And the reason why I would go to the city, you heard me? Because I would go rob a motherfucker out their car. And boom, I would go shoot back to the country, you heard me? Lay my head, lay low for a while and boom, go on to the next plan. So I said, once I, jack the motherfucker out their car, you heard me? I'm gonna use that for the bank robbery. And look, like, like it's really hard to rob a bank because, police really, they got assigned duties, to ride around the bank. So in order to get past that, you heard me? I would go burn down a couple of houses, that's fucked up, bitch. I was at, negative 95 way of thinking. So, feel me for this. A bitch, I'll go burn down about 4, 5 houses in like a 10 and 50, a 10 mile radius, you heard me? So that way, after I burned down the 5 houses, 4 or 5 houses, you heard me? I was gonna wait for the police, to spread out and shit. So, I could spend more time in the bank. And also, you heard me? I was gonna do it on a rainy day. That way, I ain't gotta worry about no fucking motherfuckers trying to play the hero, you heard me? So, people ain't gonna really be outside on a rainy day, bitch. You better be inside playing your game, fucking eating, bitch. Don't be outside in the rain, bitch. That's how you catch a cold. So I would go wait, to a rainy day to do that shit. So boom. Once I had, according to the plan, boom, house on fire and shit, police spread out, you heard me? Everywhere but by the bank, you heard me? Then I'll go run up in that bitch with the shotty, you heard me, with the fucking 40s here on the side, and I was gonna get straight down to business, you heard me? You resist, bitch, you could take a bullet, and bitch, that's the way I was thinking at that time. But like, so I had thought out the plan, you heard me? After I do that, I'll go shoot out the BR. I got family in BR. I'll go chill by them, and I wasn't gonna tell them shit, you heard me? But I'll go by my family, lay low, you heard me, towards the car, buy me another car, you heard me, shoot out to Atlanta. Bitch, that was my plan. I'll go to Atlanta first, you heard me, go holler at a couple of niggas I fuck with out there, you heard me. Then I'll go shoot to California, bitch, and start a new life. But bitch, that's the way I was thinking at the time. But look, and this is why I say, God is real. You heard me? God work in mysterious ways because, I thought of the plan. I thought it out in detail. So right before I was, getting ready to actually push it into play, boom, I got caught with a gun. And this is why I see God is good. You hear me? That's a good reason why I got caught with that gun. You hear me? God did that shit. You hear me? And like, the reason how I got caught. You hear me? Like, Like I left my little tool on the bed. I ain't gonna tell you where I got it from or who or nothing like that. But I left my tool on the bed. You heard me? And like him and his friend, his friend came over. He slept over. You heard me? And like they young. They like 12 and shit. So 12. So they gone. They young. They go stay up and shit. Challenge each other. All that stupid shit. And like I guess nigga came in my room. You heard me? Snatched my shit, you hear me? I was really tripping that day, bitch. I was loaded, all that shit. But you hear me? Like my nigga Alante Adams said, man, excuses are monumental bridges that lead to nowhere. And bitch, I was on that road for too long. So look here. And like, man, so nigga ended up stealing my shit, you heard me? And the next day they went up, going to his friend's house, and you heard me? They ended up shooting TV and like all kind of shit happened, you heard me? Words and verbs, bitch, my name got popped up, you hear me? And the police, they boom, they can't got me, you hear me? I got the tool, fingerprints on the gun, all that shit. I'm like, damn. So boom, but I ain't go to jail though, you hear me? And the reason why, bitch, I ain't even gonna lie, bitch, I lied, you hear me? I said that wasn't for me. And believe it or not, bitch, they believe that shit. So bitch, I ain't go to jail though. I got a thing for court and shit. And you heard me? Have to go to court for, end up getting a misdemeanor, but fuck it. But man, that's why I say God work in a, mysterious way, dog. Cause like when that shit happened, son, I really slowed down. So I had to look at myself, and the reason why, son, that shit really slowed me down. Cause like, back when I was their age, you heard me. I had a friend, you heard me, named Kano. You heard me, and we, I used to. He died, rest in peace, though. But he died, from playing with guns and shit at the age of 12, and I was like 12, 13 at that time. So when he died, man, that shit just fucked me up, dog. And I ain't even gonna lie, I stopped believing in God. I just changed at that time. It's how I say God's so mysterious, powerful. He brought me back. You heard me? Cause like when that shit happened, you heard me. They let me go. They interrogated me. I came back home. Boom. I'm sweating the whole fucking day. So I see the little dude, my cousin, who he hanged out with, who did that shit. He was on the basketball court. So I walked up to the little dude. I'm like, man, I'm sorry, dog. That's my fault, man. I'm sorry, dog. I ain't, because on some real shit, if any one of them would have died, you heard me, I would have took my charge like a man. You heard me, like, yeah, that's my fault. You heard me. But I apologize to the little dude, dog. That shit really, yeah, son. And then that same day though, boom, same night though, I come home, and I just couldn't stop thinking. I'm still sweating, you heard me? I'm just like, damn, son, that shit fucked up, because I'm thinking about my dog, you hear me, the whole time, and how I could have, been responsible for taking, a child life, and like, that shit really touched me. So, like, I just started talking to myself, and then I started talking to God. I'm like, I confessing about all this crazy shit. I'm fucked up and shit. And I feel like, and I'm like, God, man, if you just help me, you heard me? But the thing is, he already helped me with that incident, you heard me? Like he showed me light. So after that, I started more and more. I started talking to God as the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months. I started talking to God more and more, and I started, the more I talked to God, the less negative thoughts I had. You heard me? Because my mind was really racing. And I say when I got to around like but it was an everyday struggle because I was so used to being negative, all on that crazy shit, on beef and all this stupid shit. You hear me? My mind was fucked up, so I was really battling like the inside. You hear me? I was like getting sick on some shit, and like I say, once I got all the way down to like negative 35, that's when something happened. You heard me? Like the whole time. Wait, let me check the time right quick, man. Damn, son. Yeah, I'm about to run out of time, but fuck. But I'm gonna try to hurry up and get this shit done. But like when I got to like negative 35, man, I saw an old childhood friend. You hear me? I was chilling. Well, not even childhood, school day friend. You hear me? We used to always kick it. That was when I was on some positive shit. And like it was late night, and you heard me. I was on the corner with my dude. We talking about all kind of shit. You heard me? Like fucking from religion to UFOs, conspiracies to fucking everything but the normal shit. And like I remember he drove up. You heard me? It was nighttime, and he put the window down. Say, like, dog, chill out. You hear me? And like that shit, ain't nobody really told me about myself. My dudes, they told me, what I was doing. But they always had my back if I got in trouble. So I ain't really worried about it. But like, you know, Like it took like an outside person, somebody who ain't never told me nothing wrong. You heard me? Damn, my life. You heard me? To like and nigga just said some compassionate shit. You heard? Nigga just said a little sentence. Said chill out about it, dog. And like I ain't had nothing I could say. You heard me, bitch? I got the gift of gabble. You heard me? Bitch, I could tell you something. Got comebacks for everything. But at that time, dog, I couldn't even say nothing, son. I just started talking, and I was like. I was just looking, he rolled off. But ever since then, you heard me, I thought about that shit. And I went from, at that moment, bitch, I went from negative 35 to like negative 20. You hear me? And, yeah, the video about to go out. So this is part one, you heard me? I'm gonna finish it up, you heard me? And how when I start getting positive, you heard me? The other change. But, man, like I said, man, power, God is real, you heard me? And I'm transitioning, where now I'm at, positive one. But bitch, I remember when I was at negative 95, you heard me? And that shit ain't no joke. And like, you heard me? That's why I say, man, like compassion, like human compassion. Like the nigga really, definition of compassion is sympathy or pity for, someone suffering. And you hear me? I was suffering at that time. My dude, you heard me, told me that shit, son. That shit really touched me, you heard me? Like I've been working hard every day, every night. You heard me, trying to be the best I can. You heard me, trying to be as positive as I can. You heard me, and like as more I tried, the less negative people came in my life, and more positive people came in my life. You heard me, and I got some stories for that too. But I'm running out of time, so I like get to a conclusion. You heard me, but like, man, I've been looking how I've been bashing these white people and shit, dog, and that's some fucked up shit, man. Cause I really like white people, you heard me? And, I've been going in on them. And so I'm going to do a video about, things I like about white people, part one. Because, I like a lot of things about white people. And, there's two sides to every coin, And, bitch, I don't give a fuck about heads or tails, bitch. I'm going to flip it in the air and you call it what you want, you heard me? It's your boy Mixtape. You just watched another episode of All About the Streets. Fuck with me.